Let's turn back to the markets now, where the chip stocks are in the green after their worst day since 2020 yesterday. The SMH was down earlier. It's now up about 1.3%. NVIDIA is now rebounding by nearly 7%. But my next guest sees more trouble ahead for the chip giant and says the sell-off yesterday was not just a blip in the bull market. Let's bring in VanEck. He's CEO of VanEck, the company that manages the SMH. Jan, it's always great to have you here. I think last time we were doing a deep dive on Bitcoin. So I'm very curious your take on NVIDIA.
Sure, Kelly. Listen, I think investors are well served if they take a longer term perspective on these trends. And let's take AI. So last summer, we said we have an inflection point because valuations hit an all-time extreme. They were basically at .com valuation extremes. NVIDIA, great company, but when I said great company, bad stock, it was trading at 50 times sales last summer. And so, of course, the company will continue to grow, but is it really that great a stock? And SMH, which you just showed, has basically been treading water since then. With DeepSeek, I think we hit another major inflection point, which is we knew competition was coming to NVIDIA, maybe 2027 from startup chip companies. Obviously, there are other chip manufacturers in the world. But what I love about DeepSeek is the new competitor to NVIDIA is NVIDIA, meaning their older chips maybe can still be used effectively by some of these tweaked models. So we are now at a new phase in the AI trend.
Well, I've heard, too, that maybe those NVIDIA chips that powered DeepSeek were the high-power ones that they were briefly getting through export controls, and now they have to export just the lower-power ones. Be that as it may, Jan, a lot of people would look at this, and I think of you as someone at like kind of the vanguard of new tech, right, and Bitcoin and all this stuff, and would look at this and say, what a great opportunity to pick up, 20% down, come on. They're going to be a pillar of the AI revolution. Why? I mean, I'm sensing it's not just in NVIDIA, but that you seem to broadly have a little bit of concern about, the strongest parts of the market.
Well, we don't really know. The next shoe to drop on the NVIDIA DeepSeek news is really the guidance that we're going to get from some of the hyperscalers. Will this really affect their demand or not? But we might not even know until next quarter's earnings announcements, until we get guidance. So I just don't like pounding the table, right, when you have this big cloud over our heads.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No. I mean, there are other parts of this whole story, like Constellation Energy, right? And a utility company that was up 3 times in the last year. I mean, that is just set up for a big correction. So I think some of these trends, I think electrification will continue. But these stocks really needed to correct.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. Actually, let's take a quick listen to this, because those power names were among the biggest losers yesterday, down 20, 30%, GE Vernova among them. Now, that company is rebounding today on a Chevron partnership involving engine number 1 to power data centers. And here's what the CEO told Squawk on the Street about yesterday's price drop.
We're certainly appreciative of the market's response over the 10 months we've had as a public company that shows its confidence in our future to grow and grow profitably.
Grow and grow profitably, Jan. What do you think?
Yeah, I really do feel that the need for more electricity in data centers is something that not only is the market asking for, but I think the administration will support. And that does benefit the whole nuclear story, and it benefits natural gas as well. That's something that we've been talking about. So, I just think when you look at some of the pockets of the market, they were just so way extended.
Yeah.
Like the SMR companies, they're looking for revenue traction, which could be years away. I'm an optimist. I think it'll come sooner rather than later. But even so, they could easily hit more air pockets.
So you've mentioned the losers here are kind of the equity names when the market was over distorted to growth. We talked about NVIDIA. We talked about the utilities. The not losers, you say, Bitcoin, part of the nuclear story, actually the uranium miners, SaaS companies like Salesforce with competitive moats. And let's throw KMI in there.
Yeah, KMI is sort of the natural gas story. It's a little attenuated to the demand for power in data centers, because obviously there are a lot of other factors that go into natural gas, but it's a story that I kind of like in the medium term. And you just had a big sell-off yesterday as well, so I'd be sort of nibbling at those names. Turning to Bitcoin really quickly, I hate that there are these one-day correlations when Bitcoin went down with the market, but I think it's an asset that gives you investors protection against the other big trend, which no one's talked about in the last 48 hours, but it's the big federal budget deficit.
Yeah.
And will Trump be able to cut there? And if not, then you want gold and Bitcoin as hedges in your portfolio.
Well,